guys, welcome to the 20th lesson of Blockstack plus React. It's been a really long time since I created a video and I apologize for that. There's been a lot of different things that have been in the pipeline that has kept me a little bit distracted, but I do assure you that I am now focused on finishing out the content here. I believe that there's going to be 3 more videos, and once we finish that, then the series is done. With that being said, I just want to thank everyone for subscribing to my YouTube channel. I finally hit the big 3 digits of 100 subscribers. And I want to give a special shout out to Payco on Twitter. You are the first person to send a donation through my YouTube channel, and I thank you so much for it. There are a lot of long hours spent coming up with ideas, editing the videos to ensure that the tutorial is very seamless and easy to understand. When I started this channel, it was never meant for any monetary gains, and I really wanted to help the developer community build scalable applications, whether it be through Blockstack or any other means. So with that being said, thank you so much. This is just a small stepping stone into really building my channel and helping other developers grow. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's work on lesson 20, which is the public user posts. In lesson 20, we're going to be working on the public user posts table. Prior to this lesson, we worked on building an error handling system when a user did not exist in the Blockstack ecosystem and when a user did exist but did not create any post. We're now going to take into account the third scenario, which is a user that has existing posts. The first thing we're going to do is render the posts tables component, which we created in some lessons before, and display it in the public route via username/posts. And unlike the admin page, the public post page will only display the view button. It doesn't make any sense for a user to be able to edit and delete a post, especially if it's not their own. Lastly, we're going to refactor the post table to account for different scenarios. And in this case, we're going to think about, are we coming from the admin page or are we coming in from the public post page? Let's go to the code and start working on that integration. If you recall from the previous lesson, under pages, username, routes, we have 2 routes defined, and inside of each route, we are rendering these dummy divs, the first being the post table and the second being the post detail view. In this lesson, we're going to be focusing on the post table, so for now, let's erase this information. And what we want to do here is render the post tables component. So in our components, post and post table, this is the component that we're going to be trying to render in the public post page. So let's do post table. And right now it's giving me a linter error because I haven't imported it, but that's okay. Let's just work on the props first and then we'll do the proper imports later. The first prop that we're going to be passing in is the post itself. And in this case, the posts will be the post that we set the state from on the initial load via load posts. So here, exactly. So here we're going to say post equals this.state.posts. The second thing we're going to add is the username. And this is coming from match.params.username. So for now, I think that's enough information. Let's do the proper import above. We'll say import posts table from components posts/posts table. Let's look at the browser and see what changes appear when we're looking at a user with identified posts. Currently, my browser is not running, so I'm going to open up my terminal and run npm run start. On my browser, in my public post page, we see the list of posts that I've created. But you'll notice that something is a little weird. We have the edit, view, and the delete option here. We don't want these options to show up because in the public page, we only want to view the post. So what is actually going on here? Let's look at the code and do some analysis again. In the posts table, if you scroll down below, we iterate over the list of posts and then we call this function called this.displayAdminOptions. In the admin options, we are rendering 3 buttons, the edit, view, and delete. This is okay in the admin page, but we need some kind of identifier to let the post table know that, hey, you're coming from the public page and not from the admin page. To account for this, we can add an additional prop called type. Type will dictate what kind of information we'll show, and in this case, we'll have two types, admin or public. So in our post table, let's add an additional prop here called type. And we'll say it's a string. And I'm not going to make it required, but give it a default prop. And in type, we're going to give it a default prop of admin. Now in here, we're going to modify the code a little bit to only display the admin options if relevant. So if this.props.type equals admin, we're going to display the admin options. Otherwise, for now, let's just do public information. Now we need to go back to the routes page under username routes. We'll pass in a prop called type and define it as public. Let's go to the browser and see what happens. On my browser, under options, now it gives public information. This isn't exactly what we want, but it's showing you the difference between an admin option versus a public option. For example, if I go back to my admin posts, it's going to give me edit, view, and delete. Going back to my public posts, it gives me public information. Let's change the code here to display only the view button. In the post table component, we are calling either this.display admin options or showing the public information div. Let's erase this div here and say this.display public options of the post. We're going to create this function now, and it's going to be very similar to the display admin options. So here we're going to display public options of the post. We're going to return a button. We'll just copy this code here. Instead of view admin post, let's just say view post. Here. We'll more or less do the same thing here, so I'll just copy and paste. But instead of the /admin prefix, we need to say /username/post/post ID. Remember, in our routes page under username routes, the detail page of the public post is just going to render a simple div called post detail view. But for the sake of this example, let's see if the button of the view works properly. I'm currently on my public post page. We see that we only have the one option. This is exactly what we want. And now when I click view, it's rendering the post detail view. This is a perfect stopping point for this lesson. In this lesson, we were able to make our post table component more flexible in handling admin views versus public post views. In the next lesson, we're going to be integrating the post detail component that we've already created from the previous lessons via admin detail view and make that component flexible enough to handle the public and admin pages. I can't wait to work with you in the next lesson. See you then.